Reacting versus responding. I love this distinction. Uh, as a meditator, I've found a lot of value in teasing these two words apart, not only in my relationship to their definition, but the ways in which they, please forgive me for using this word, manifest in my life. Um, Reaction and response are mostly differentiated by the time frame and the ways in which we define that time frame for ourselves are subjective. But we can try to give them some shape by saying reaction is our emotional response to, or let's go with reaction is our immediate emotional response to an unfolding event, something somebody has said or done. Response is the measured way that we respond to an event. Use the same examples. This distinction highlights the fact that there are times when we simply don't which do I pick? React, respond in the most wise manner to something that somebody has done or said. And I would argue that for many of us, that's more often than we'd like. Let's put it that way. The value, one of the values of a meditation practice for me is that it has over time baked in a greater time difference between the unfolding event and then what I do or say in regards to that event. And so the way that I would characterize it in my own life is that I react less frequently to the events of life, and I'm more often than not responding. I'm more frequently responding to what arises. We all kind of understand this difference. We know what it feels like to have an emotional reaction to something that somebody says or does, and we also know the feelings that follow that without me having to identify them for you as you run through a few examples in your own brain file. We may not, all of us may not be able to conjure up some times where we had a good response to something. So I can give, without giving a specific example, but the easiest one to think of is in my marriage. It's totally normal for my wife to say something that rubs me the wrong way, especially in the morning hours before I've had my coffee. The best thing that I can do in a situation where I notice, and that's where the mindfulness comes in, where I'm able to notice that rubbing of the wrong way rising up, is to do nothing, is to say and do nothing. Even a time scale measured at a couple beats of a hummingbird's wing can give me the distance between the way that I feel when she said whatever she said and then what I respond with to articulate a thought that is less inflammatory, less mean, less rude, more constructive, or as I like to say, wiser than what would have come out of me if I just reacted. Now, this is all predicated on the ability to recognize our arising feelings or thoughts in any given moment. But to me, to bring this back to something that is a personal value for me, is the value of keeping a mindfulness practice. Is that over time, it gets easier to have responses instead of reactions to the things that happen in our lives. And life is full of these things. Life is full of people and gravity events that cause us to want to react to them. And then we suffer the fallout of our own reactions, which has layers like an onion, you know? So, yeah. A fun thing I'll offer to you is see if you can't notice the times that you react in life. See if you can't notice it. See if you can't, even just one time a day, find just a tiny, tiny bit of space between what occurs and what you do in response to it. And then see how that feels instead of, how it felt before.